Hello and welcome back to another housing video for patch 7.2 Seekers of Eternity with me, Meoni, covering all of the items we can physically get our hands on, hopefully covering all of them as well as all of the other unlockable things as well that you might be interested in. I know housing isn't everybody's cup of tea, but we're going to get to it. So first of all, we've got the brand new Hingan set. So these are all the brand new Hingan items added in 7.2. All of them are brand new. This includes a floor cabinet, a wall cabinet, wall shelf, Hingan windows, partitions, dressers, and a pillar. So let's just get straight to this then. As we look at each item, we're going to have the recipe on the screen for you, so don't worry about that. So this then is the Hingan floor cabinet. As you can see, it's got a basic back to it, and it's got a curved edge at the back as well. Obviously, this is designed to have these like sliding aesthetic doors, which is really nice. Something that you might see in some Asian-inspired buildings, right? In real life. I really like the decorations around the actual slide things as well. Really, really cool. So there's that one, which obviously would go straight against your wall. Then we have the Hingan wall cabinet then. So this is the wall variant. And as you can see, it's quite nice because it's got a semicircle the other direction, which is really nice. So you can place this above here, make like a unit out of this. That's not actually a really good idea, isn't it? And then you can line them up. Yeah, really nice pair of items, those. And yeah, I think they'd be quite welcome. You could have a few of these in a row. Maybe even put this on a half partition with the hole. And then make like a kitchen counter. And then speaking of shelves, we've got another shelf. This one is a Hingan wall shelf, as you can see. And this one is a lot more decorative than the others, a lot more stylized, but is obviously just shelves rather than having cabinets associated with it. We've got that curved edge at the top there, which looks like, quite honestly, if I was to place something on that in real life, it would probably just roll off the side. And then the same on the other. It is really nice though, like very stylized, and we've got this kind of like tree stump almost, like carved wood. That's cool, isn't it? That I like that a lot. So that's that one. Now we have the decorative Hingan window. This is what that looks like. Obviously it's a fake partition, so if it's night outside, there is no light that's going to shine through this, I don't think. No. And if it's daytime, obviously you saw it on a preview window a moment ago. More recently, we actually got a decorative Hingan door as well, which was added a long time ago in comparison. Although there's the light coming up. Just to give you a reference of what that looked like. It's basically the same kind of wood. There's a lot less detailing in the window than there is the door, but I still think that would match quite nicely. Obviously, the detailing in this one kind of comes with these almost diamond like with ovals in them at the top there. But yeah, that looks really cool, doesn't it? So far we're off to a good start there. Then we have the Hingan event partition, which is something I've seen a lot of people go wild for actually, because this is something you could quite easily clip in many ways if you use housing glitches the other way around, right? I can't show it, case it here, and rotate this to be the top of like of a shop, basically, you know, one of those like canopies. That could work quite well. So the creativity I've seen people use this for already is awesome. But at the same time, as it's freestanding here, it does work as a partition like any other partition in the game, only this one is cloth. All right, so if you wanted to have that kind of separation in your property between areas, but you didn't want something that looked like it was semi-permanent, then you could literally just have something like that. It's really, really nice. Very, very cool. All right, let's go back to furnishings then. We've got a Hingan dresser now. So this is in that Far Eastern style. It is enormous, actually. Wow. That is a lot bigger than I think anybody expected it to be. It's also off-center from the rotation thing. Have you seen this? Look, like the rotation wheel is off-center. Interesting. So obviously that's your front of the dresser with all of these golden drawers with that kind of metal hinges and bars to hold it together, and there's the back of it as well. So if you wanted a nice flat wardrobe background, then you totally could, right? You could use that for a number of things actually decoratively. If you were to put that in a frame or something, I don't know, there's all sorts of creativity that goes on with housing that you can only dream of. I do like the lattice doors at the top. I do wish more of these housing items that were added had interactions, like the ability to slide these doors open, for example, and slide these open at the top. That would be really, really nice. But yeah, it's a nice, big, solid object. And if you wanted a big dresser, then yeah, this is definitely for you. And then finally, we have the simple Hingan pillow. So the idea is to get multiples of these, right? Typically seen in traditional Far Eastern homes, it says here. Yeah, so we've got a massive pillar, which goes obviously ceiling height down to your floor. That's for a normal room size. It kind of does look like a warped piece of wood. If we were to take this somewhere that isn't regular height, though, you'll see that it's kind of like a caber. There is actually a limit, so it only goes to like this height, this ceiling height. So if you have a large plot and you wanted to create a platform up here, you could probably glitch things together and make something like a pontoon. That would be really, really cool, actually, using those. So that's another use case scenario for that. But personally, I quite like the Hingan stuff. I think they did a good job to add some nice variety in some of the housing items this time in this patch. A little bit of a dye preview then for the decorative Hingan window first. It is the wooden frame on the outside that's obviously going to change color, helping you match to other wood grain. You obviously can't change the color of the lattice sections in between, like the window fabric itself, but it looks pretty great actually in a variety of different colors. So yeah, nice normal wood grain. In terms of the cabinets then, it'll come as no surprise that we're changing the main color. So obviously you're going to bring out a lot of those gold colors, the brighter sort of yellows and things you bring, or dark colors, right? The darker your colors, the more those are going to pop. So yeah, it looks pretty great, honestly, in a variety of different wood grain effects. Nothing really too complainative there. Again, you know, I say this on every video, but it would be nice if we had a second dye palette for furnishings. But I think at this point I'm speaking too much about that. In terms of these then, these items on here, the wall cabinet, obviously it's the main wood that dyes on these. Again, I know I said I wouldn't say it again, but how nice would it be to have a second palette for housing items so we can dye this central area, because it doesn't matter what color you dye the outside, some of the colors are going to clash wildly with that white, right? It's that off-white color. So unless you're going to go for like simple browns, it's probably going to look a bit strange. And the same obviously can be said for the one on the floor as well. The floor cabinet, exactly the same dye options. As for the shelf, the wall shelf, that's a little bit more useful because obviously you're not having to deal with extra sections on it. It's just one piece. I really do like that kind of almost fleur-de-lis type coil. Was it like a rope coil or something? I don't know what they call them, like fleur-de-lis type spiral sections, carved bits of wood, and then that wooden section in the middle. I think that looks really nice. And yeah, this could go well with a variety of different housing items, honestly, especially if you've got some of the other Hingan pieces that they've added in various patches, for sure. Then we've got the partition, which is fully dyeable as well. And you can change the meta fabric color as well as the rope, which is a nice surprise because obviously we've only got one, you know, dye palette for housing items. I think it looks really cool. So if you wanted to, like I said before, you could suspend these, you could glitch them around a little bit, maybe have different themed stalls and then build structures around them and then put some of the cabinets in that had like the meat in it and things that we've had before. We could have like a butcher's, like a hairdresser's, that kind of thing, different market stalls. That's basically what I would do with these. It's a shame, again, that we can't color the middle bit, but actually I think it doesn't matter as much because you'd probably want that to be a bright color and have the other an accent color like blue or bright red or whatever. Yeah, really cool. And then finally, of course, the last item is our large pillar, our Hingan pillar, a simple Hingan pillar, which of course we can change color of as well. Basic dye options. Wow, ruby red makes it kind of look tasty. Like a stick of rock or something from the seaside. I don't know if Americans have rock, actually. Do you have rock candy? Do you have to like break it up and eat it? Don't know. Might be just an English thing, like a British thing. Anyway, those are the items. Very cool. And, you know, obviously if you had a fully Hingan decorated property, these are like the finishing touches that you'd probably be looking for. But yeah, hopefully they add more stuff in the future. My personal favorite, though, probably going to be the partition, shortly followed by these units. Both of these units are great, and actually the Hingan shelf is pretty great as well. Not so sure about the cabinet. I don't think I would use that personally, but let me know what you think. Do any of these items strike your fancy? And hopefully that helped demonstrate what they look like.